Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator of the Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. This month, we're going to talk about the international naval treaties that were made in the interwar period between World War I and World War II, and how those affected the design of the Battleship New Jersey. As an Iowa-class battleship, New Jersey is the largest class of battleships the United States ever made. Their final size was not dictated by treaties, but their design and development process was. Today we're going to talk about the Washington Naval Treaty. That treaty codified the size of battleships and smaller vessels, a size which New Jersey was not limited to. The Washington Naval Treaty was the first international arms limitation treaty in human history. It was signed in Washington, D.C. in 1922. It codified the size of different types of warships, something that hadn't been done throughout the entire Age of Steel. Limited battleships to 35,000 tons with guns no greater than 16.1 inches. Limited cruisers to 10,000 tons, and made a distinction between light cruisers armed with 6-inch guns and heavy cruisers armed with 8-inch guns. It also limited the size of destroyers to 15,000 tons and their gun size to a little over 5 inches. This is a 5-inch gun on the Battleship New Jersey, the kind that would arm American destroyers throughout the interwar, World War II, and early Cold War periods. To give you an idea of the size destroyers were limited to, this is turret 3 on the battleship. If we were to take it out and weigh it, it would weigh approximately 2,200 tons. That's about the same as a wartime Fletcher-class destroyer. The wartime destroyers were no longer limited by international treaties, like the peacetime destroyers. The peacetime destroyers were limited to only 1,500 tons, with the destroyer leaders limited at 2,000 tons. Still 200 tons less than one of our gun turrets. In addition to limiting the size of ships, the Washington Naval Treaty also limited the number of battleships and carriers each nation could build. This was the first time restrictions were placed on carriers, and for the number of battleships, the United States and Great Britain were giving parity. This was the first time the two countries had ever had naval parity. Japan was given about 2/3 the size of those two, and France and Italy were given parity at a much smaller number. The final thing the Washington Naval Treaty did was limit the size of fortifications that could be built on Pacific Islands and dissolve the Anglo-Japanese naval treaties of World War I. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and check in next week for a video on the first London Naval Treaty, another treaty that also limited the size of this ship.